Evolved, your home for Halo. Pockets Evolved recaps, though this is a bad thing. It says last month's Halo news and updates. We do not hit the monthly cadence anymore, so I'm going to have to edit that out. Or maybe I'll leave it in. Let's just leave it in. Today, I'm your host, David, and with me is the lovely Steve.
Hello, everybody.
Steve, thanks for joining again and again. Short notice, but I appreciate it, dude. Thank you very much. I know you're in and up to date, so you're like my go-to guy for okay, what's been happening in Halo.
No, absolutely. I love it.
So today, literally, we're just going to cover Halo in 2025. So kind of like a Q1 check-in. That's what I was thinking of. Because I know a lot has actually happened. And if you're in the know, you know. And if you don't, you're like me. You're tangentially looking at it. You're like, that looks good. That video is awesome. Holy shit, that book dropped and you missed it. So I was like, okay, let's recap. Let's just see where we are 2025. Because last episode we did was about February. I don't think we didn't look ahead too much, but we kind of talked about the way things were and kind of the previous kind of launches and of content that came out. So I was like, okay, let's do that again and see where we are. So we're recording in April this time, so that's a fine stretch between episodes. So I'll try not to do that again. So let's get some social stuffs out there. So if you're new to the show, welcome. Evolved, as you know, has hosted different types of kind of Halo content. This is our main show, Podcast Evolved. We have older shows that have since run their course, but their content can be evergreen. It's pretty good stuff. So Mission Debrief, Builds of Blocks. We still have a partnership with HCS Pro Talk, who pumping out content all the time. We have Halo TV Plus, the book club, which is still going, and Halo Headlines obviously is constantly being put out by Ian, so that's great. Thank you very much. So you can learn about all of our shows over at our website. It's pretty damn dope. It's haloevolve.co. Also, it's halopodcast.com, which is pretty good. So if you're a fan, please rate us and leave a review. I take all the feedback, guys. Anything you want, lay it on me. Thank you very much. I will shout out to our patrons, guys. Thank you so much for keeping us going, even in the dark times. So you guys are amazing. So thank you all so much. If you're not subscribed, go check it out. You get a bunch of different rewards. You get early episodes, unique swag. You get access to our podcast soundtrack. We also have an exclusive show to our patrons, which is I Would Have Been Your Podcast. A new one just went out with Ian. So go check that out. That's over on patreon.com/HaloEvolved. We also have a little bit of an Audible trial. It's still there. It still exists. It's our longest running kind of little promotion that we have. So everything you can get in Audible, you can get all the Halo content on Audible, every book, it's all there. So go check it out. It's audibletrial.com/podcast evolved. There we go. That's all the bits. So, Steve, I'm going to kick to you. Tell me about what you've been up to in Halo, because the last time I know Jumper Escape was kind of like Jumper Escape. It is Jumper Escape, isn't it? Jumper Escape Media.
Jumper Escape Media is the overall top of the umbrella. Well, Jumper Escape has been around for a while. Under Jumper Escape is the library. The library has been running podcast for quite a while. Chatternet was the new thing, which is a whole other project under Jumper Escape.
Excellent. That's where my brain is. Yes. Chatternet was new. In February-ish, you were putting out daily content and managing it across a whole group of different people. How have you guys been doing?
We're doing great as far as everybody is involved is concerned. We've been doing, steady growth, steady numbers that everyone has been happy with. We've been getting regular interaction and engagement with the community. We also have a phone number for that show that people can call in and leave voicemails for. So that happens fairly regularly on some of the other shows. It's going pretty well. We keep it tight. Little 2-minute messages, just a quick, your name, show you're calling for, what you want to talk to about the host real quick. And we kind of leave it open to interpretation what you want to call about. If you just want to say you like the show, or if you want to correct something that one of the hosts said wrong, it's kind of an open platform as long as it's appropriate subject matter, pretty much. It's been going pretty well. We're all happy with it. Like you said, it's a daily show with a different host every day on a 2-week cycle. So there's 14 different shows pretty much. And for the most part, there is a show every single day. Obviously, life happens once in a while. Somebody misses a day or thinks it's not their week because you do an episode every other week with it being a 2-week cycle. And stuff happens, but we've been really consistently hitting that pretty much every week having every episode in it, and it's been a challenge, but it's been a fun challenge. Everybody's been doing really well with it. Been making a lot of friends along the way. The Discord that's with it has been growing incredibly rapidly, and there's been just Halo fans doing Halo stuff a lot because of it. We've got just random people jumping into general chat and Discord all the time, and hey, what are you guys playing? Let's all link up. It's got me started playing mods on MCC for the first time finally.
Oh, very good. I think there's crazy shit over there.
Yeah, there's some fun stuff. A few of us have gotten into streaming a little bit here and there, and we've been working together, helping each other out with like even just basic tech support and animations and overlays and stuff. We're kind of sort of doing a little casual making a network of streamers amongst ourselves. One guy will play Halo for a couple hours and he's getting off just as someone else is getting on. So it's like, oh, let's go raid each other. Let's pass the audience around.
Oh, that's
let's
really
all
good.
Just have fun. And it's nice because we'll get some good videos where you get clips from two people's perspective at the same time during the crazy game nights.
Good. That's cool. I like that. Fair play.
Yeah.
That's what you want to hear, man. That's great to hear that kind of stuff still goes on.
Yeah, the Halo community is alive and well.
I love it. That's really, really good. And in terms of yourself, you're playing kind of new MCC stuff. Are you doing anything else different? Are you just grinding out Halo Infinite like you said?
I mean, I will always be steadily grinding out Infinite at like what I consider a casual pace. I don't play it every day. I'll make sure I finish every pass for the most part pretty early on. I'm not waiting till the very end to grind them out anymore just because it's been so easy with all of the things they've added as far as better XP paying game types. Some of the more new firefight game modes have paid out pretty well, so it's been really easy to finish passes quickly through that.
The firefight stuff I've really liked to see come into Infinite, and that's actually helped me get kind of older people back in, like some of my friends and my brothers and stuff like that who wouldn't be big Halo gamers. They'd game other things really primarily, but that was a great thing. They come back. It was like, oh hey, firefights in Infinite now, come over. So that's been pretty good. And I actually tried myself again to get in a little bit to Halo again before the show. So when I read up all the content and I saw, oh shit, they put in here Firefight Classic and had some classic maps, and I really kind of looked them. They did give me the vibe, so I said, okay, I'll try and get it matchmake into a game, which I did. Get one Firefight Classic on the only black site. Not the only black site.
Alpha site.
Outside. Is the alpha site is the one you're outside the hill? I want to say that's crap. Because there's one. I know there's one that's inside. It's like the cube, and then there's one where you're outside, right where the bridge is in the campaign. You blow up the bridge, and it's like a.
I've always been terrible with the names, but they're such great maps, though.
It's the classic map for me. When I think of Firefight Classic, I think of that map, and that game went on forever. It was a really long game. They did not want to quit it, so I had to leave. But it was really good, actually. It was quite enjoyable. It felt good, the way like the weapons were displayed, the way the map was built, how it kind of progressed. It gets steadily kind of harder, but I don't know, it was very enjoyable. I thought it was really well made, really well done. Just had to leave it. I couldn't stay in it any longer. I was getting tired. I just had to go.
Ultimately, though, that's kind of what you want out of that game mode. Because while we didn't get Firefight at launch with Infinite, we did kind of have the evolution of the mode drip fed to us as we went along. I mean, for the longest time, it was just Firefight King of the Hill until we started getting, what was it, Gruntpocalypse was the first time we would get a not King of the Hill game mode of Firefight. And even then, you were still limited to a set number of rounds and sets and waves. And that was the one thing that was really missing from Infinite's Firefight at this point, was just a standard enemy, unlimited run. Because that's what everybody loved about the ODST version, was how long could you go. Everyone remembers the grind for Vidmaster having to get, what was it, the 7th round and everything. Like it was a hard run to do that back in the day. Yeah. Really. Yeah, it was a hard run. I did it. It was a sweat fest to do it. We did finally pull it off, like legitimately, no weird cheesy methods. I don't remember if there were any. Like I know there were plenty of ways to cheese some of those Halo 3 achievements. I don't remember if there were any for Firefight, but I remember just legitimately slogging through it. But I loved it, and it conditioned a lot of us to just do those really long running games of Firefight, and that was missing from Infinite.
That's pretty cool, man. Nice. Well, we're here. About that, what else have I done? Other than that, I have only done Halo Flashpoint stuff. So that's the board game with miniatures, the miniature battle game, essentially. I painted up Master Chief. Had great fun doing it. It was very easy to do. And I have 4 other Spartans I painted, but I did those before the last time. And what have I done? I haven't played any other games. I have a friend lined up for me who also bought the kind of launch pack. So I have him kind of lined up, and I'm going to try and get every game type played with every sub faction of Spartan and Elite that you can play. So that's at least what I'm going to try and do. But he's gone away for a month, so as soon as he's back, I'm going to be like, okay, we're going to bang these out, and then I have in my own brain enough content to actually talk about it and actually do an episode just dedicated to that. So that's what I want to do. And then they have also launched their 3rd wave of stuff. So their 2nd wave was just more Spartans plus like a kind of war games pack that was all about competitive running tournaments kind of stuff. And I was like, nah, I'm not too bothered about that. The Spartan models look the same as the other Spartan models, just with different weapons. I'm not that pushed. But the 3rd wave is the Banished, and they brought in Brutes. They've a special character of Aatrox if you pre-order. So of course I fucking pre-ordered, and then they had I think there are a couple of more. I think it was this. They're doing like a weird, like whatever material they're making their models out of. They're doing like a specialist, super amazing version of the 4 basic Spartans from different sculpts, but the basic kind of loadouts. It's like the fire team. That's the word I was looking for. So it's a 4-man squad of different kind of armor sets and different relatively basic weapons. So like I think there's a bulldog, there's an AR, and there is a DMR, and there's something else as well. I can't remember. Of like these weapons, but the sculpts and look really nice. There's a really badass dude with like an assault rifle and a knife. Reversed grip, and I was like, that looks really cool. So that comes with the pack, so I'll buy that version. So spent too much money to get this version of the game or to pre-order it, but I'm quite excited by that because it's really fleshed out. I like the look of the models. They were the first round were the 2 best quality wise, but I was like, okay, Banished will get me back in. I picked it up, so that'll be, I think that's in the summer when that launches. So hopefully at least I can get more games in and be ready for that 3rd wave. But it's pretty good. It seems to be doing pretty well. I see it's popping up at various conventions and stuff like that. So it seems to be supported well. So hopefully that keeps up. I know it's not your cup of tea, Steve, but there's my the most Halo I've done this year has been Halo Flashpoint.
That's still cool though. Like I like the idea of Flashpoint. I just don't have people I would sit down and do it with, and I just don't have the patience to hand paint the minis. Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, their only good side is that they did color the plastic, so like most people probably aren't painting them. So there's red and blue plastic minis, so you don't even have to build them; they come pre-built, so you just pop them out of the box and relatively ready to go. I'm just a sicko that has to paint them because I'm doing it anyway for other stuffs, and even like I'm in a group of lads who play war games, and it's still tough to find a game because it's kind of dominated by like the Games Workshop games essentially, so it's kind of hard to break out of that. So having one friend with the other set is really good. I thought I'd be able to bully my brother in, but we just haven't had the time. We live in different cities, so we all have babies, so it's kind of hard to say, okay, I need you to sit down and for 3 hours pay attention to how I tell you to play this game. So that's kind of been tough. That doesn't take that long to play, but like, to get your head wrapped around it and get a couple of games in, you're looking at the...
And it also involves the investment and the setup into the stuff too.
That's it, yeah. I mean, the only good thing about like the set that I bought has everything for like multiple people. So like I have like 32 models. You only need 4 to play a game. Do you know what I mean? So like 8, let's say each team of 4.
Okay. So it sets it up and it gives you some choice.
It does, exactly. So like you have a bit of variation of how you want to build your team. So like they were clever enough, I think, doing that, getting the initial box sets to be out there to be able to be multiplayer box sets. Because I imagine that's how you get people in. One friend gets excited, buys the box set, bullies their friends into playing with them, and then maybe they get involved from there. But again, it's just getting those people. Okay, let's not belabor the point. We talked way too much stuff there. So let's get into the meat of this. Q1 2025, there was a bunch of operations. I did it in kind of a weird way where I scheduled. I was like, okay, let's do the operations, and I say the cannon fodders, and then anything else that popped into my brain that I knew kind of happened. So that's kind of how we're going to just talk through it, guys. The first one, I know there was a brute force operation. We talked about it in the last episode, so I'm not going to talk about it again. I don't think Stevie really need to talk about it again either.
No, we're way past that at this point.
We're way past that. So they put out the next one. They put out like a spring update, which was like a post, and had a whole bunch of stuff of what they were doing. So there was a frontlines operation. I remember when this came out because I remember there was a great hubbub around the fuel rod spanker and people hating it because obviously they wanted the fuel rod, and what they got was an amalgamation of how the spanker and the fuel rod going in. And I think we spoke about it, Steve, but I can't remember. Have you played it? Have you used it? That's kind of someone I wanted to ask. Just
I've definitely used it. I'm pretty sure we've talked about it, but realistically, it's mostly just a reskinned rocket launcher.
Fair enough.
It's fun to play with. Yeah, it could have been better as far as like just giving us a fuel rod cannon somehow or another, but whatever. It's a new gun in the sandbox. It plays fun in the modes that they put it in. Especially most of the time you're going to see it is going to be playing like Fiesta type game modes, Husky Raid, things like that. It fits in perfectly fine there.
Yeah, fair enough. And from that, there was the Frontlines also had like they did a different kind of pass that we're talking about, like a different kind of way of how they were doing it. So the first one was going to be 50 tiers and there was 4 armor sets in it. And they also brought like an assault mode. Nothing really else there kind of jumped out at me. Obviously, a new mode, assault is like an old mode, but I think was new to this, to Infinite. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, have you played it much? I can't remember.
I haven't played it much. Assault was never really my mode throughout the franchise. I'm kind of hit and miss on certain kinds of objective modes. The thing for Assault for me is that it's usually the base mode for Griffball in most cases. Yeah. So we've had Griffball as custom modes in Halo Infinite already, and I was hoping that the implementation of Assault would bring us maybe a more true to the original form.
Better Griffball?
Yeah, maybe, but I think the real key, if we're going to go down the rabbit hole for Griffball, is going to be a way to play with hammer functionality. But that's a whole other conversation to be had. Assault did bring us that mode, and then I guess you could say Assault was kind of an evolution on Husky Raid. Husky Raid uses a flag. We now have Husky Assault, which is a little bit further down the timeline, but if we're talking Assault, it's the same thing as Husky Raid, but with a bomb instead of a flag, and not really 3 lanes. It's a little more varied.
Okay, the next one was Operation Blue Team. This caught my eye, because I say, as you imagine, Blue Team, very important. It's going to catch people's eye. The video was really cool. The video trailer I thought was really hype. I really kind of liked it. It brought obviously classic firefight. That's what caught my eye. So there was only headquarters New Mombasa as Alpha Site Security Zone from ODST, and Sword Base's Courtyard. That's the one I was talking about. Is that Halo Reach? Sword Base? No, not Sword Base. It must be Security Zone. That's the one, because I think the Alpha Site is the one when you're inside. That makes sense. So there's kind of 3 specialist maps that I remember very well from playing firefights.
That one had a little bit of a hubbub about it with the shop content because of the way they packaged up the members of Blue Team. So you got Kelly.
Paywalls.
Well, you got Kelly for the pass, and then they put Master Chief and Fred and Linda in the shop.
Damn.
And they were, you know how the pricing of the bundles has been. It wasn't exactly cheap. It was a little bit much. It was like 2,200 credits for 2 of them, and then 18 for one of them who had a couple less pieces, which is, you're basically saying $20 a piece for each of them, or buy the bundle of all 3 for $40. Like, really, it's $40 if you want to get 3 members of Blue Team.
That's awful.
Yeah,
that's really.
And then if you looked at it,
like, that's.
And you could nitpick it too. Like, they weren't even perfect, great replicas of Blue Team. It was adapted for Mark 7. So you look at it and it's already a different generation of armor that they're trying to make work. On top of that, they got weird with some of the helmet attachments not matching up with different artistic iterations of Blue Team, because you know how everyone's going to copy different book covers and stuff.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And like some of the ways you could mix and match, it didn't line up. Chief had a cracked visor on his helmet. There was no clean visor version. And he also had different shoulders because the shoulders that were supposed to come with that set were available earlier on in Infinite.
Okay.
So like it's like, now they're charging.
You do Blue Team easily.
Yeah, so there's hubbub over that, probably an equivalent amount as there was for the fuel rod spanker.
Fair enough. What else was this? Hot Swap. Hot Swap sounded fucking nuts. I obviously missed it. Didn't get a chance to play it. This was your weapon changes every 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was not
crazy.
just your weapon though; it's everybody's weapon.
Everybody's weapon. Yeah, wild. Did you play it?
I did play it. It was interesting. I didn't hate it. I'm not sure if I loved it. I didn't quite sink a lot of time into it. I probably should have put more into it, but I was going in one of my weird lulls of like a week or two where I didn't really play all that much. But it was definitely interesting. There's preset loadouts for it, so no matter what happens when you get that weapon changeover, that loadout changeover, you know what kind of loadout you might get from a list. There was like 10 different things you could possibly get.
And it would just cycle through the same loadouts throughout the game then? You would know what you would get then?
You wouldn't know which one was coming up next, but it wasn't completely random.
Okay.
Like there was it was like a shock rifle skewer loadout, and there was one that was just an oddball, and then there was one that was like a sniper and a shotgun, I think. I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were all preset, and there was about 10 of them.
Oh, interesting. So some thought was put into it. That's quite good, actually.
Yeah, and like I said, everybody gets the switch at the same time, and everybody has the same loadout at the same time.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's like Fiesta, but without the chaos. It was more controlled.
Okay, that's interesting. That kind of does take it back a step. So I thought this might be way more chaotic than Fiesta, but actually way more controlled the way you've described it there. That's very interesting.
Right, because like you get a sniper loadout, and then everybody in the map has a sniper at the same time. Yeah. So just about most of the lobby is going to be posted up hiding, trying to snipe, other than the occasional wild man who's like, screw it, I'm going Rambo. No one's going to expect it. You know, there's one loadout, I think it was sword and hammer. So obviously everyone's going to be running at each other the whole time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you get equipment with it, and all the equipment was split up fairly appropriately. There was one loadout that had the disruptor, and the accompanying equipment was the regeneration field, which makes a lot of sense. Very
good, yeah. I like how that's clever thinking. Well done.
Yeah, the rocket loadout had a repulsor. A lot of the obvious stuff that you would expect, but it plays well because of it.
Still never used a repulsor, I'll tell you that now. Never used it.
Oh my god, you're missing out on so much fun.
Yeah.
There are a few things.
Videos of people do crazy stuff. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that.
I mean, few things are as satisfying as repulsing a rocket away, other than repulsing a rocket away and hitting the person that fired it.
That's crazy. That's crazy stuff, man. Well done, yeah. Okay. As with Blue Team, they brought out Waypoint Chronicles. Steve, have you been keeping up on these? I'm not up on. Well, I'm obviously where I'm there. The book clubs I'm actually getting out on time. Well, on time consistently. So I don't know if you listened to much of them. But there was one for Blue Team. It's the next one on our to-do list, so I haven't listened to it yet. I like to listen to them more or less the day of the recording, or like the day before. It's kind of how we're doing it. So there's one for Blue Team. It's set in September 2559, so just a week before Halo Shadows of Reach. So it's about essentially like Gen 3 Mjolnir armor being completed and a bit of a kind of testing kind of thing. So I don't know, have you been keeping up on these?
I haven't been keeping up with them, but one of the things that hooks me the most about the Halo universe is a lot of stuff to do with the armor. So now that you say what it's about, I'll have to go back and look into it. Yeah.
They're typically about 18 to 20 minutes. They're in around that range. Some of them are a bit meatier, some of them are a bit shorter. They vary wildly in like their quality, I'll say that much. Some of them are really rough. No, I'd say rough, that's kind of harsh. In terms of just like their subject matter might be essentially just this is a conversation between two people, and that's the whole thing. And then other ones are like, okay, a bit more action packed, there's a bit more going on. They go all over the place. So
it's very subject to the writing of that particular story.
Yeah, pretty much. So like you might think like the Blue Team one, I imagine will pull people in. There was one for Veronica Dare was in it. I thought that was really good. That was one of my favorites. That was obviously.
I think that one was supposed to like tease for Before Empty Throne or something.
Oh, that's interesting. Because knowing nothing about Empty Throne, I really like the setup from the Veronica Dare's one. So if we're leading into that, very good. So we'll get there later. I like it.
If I remember right, I may be misremembering. There's been so much back and forth of stuff this year as far as like the Chronicles jumping around with what they're covering and then how it all ends up linking together in the other lore.
Yeah, mad stuff. But it's their consistent lore they're pumping out every other month, more or less. They're pretty good. They've been good enough for them. Okay. So the next one is Operation Forerunner. This is live right now through to May 6th. So they did I thought it was kind of interesting. The armor set looks really nice. It's a reverse engineered combat skin of a Forerunner prefect class. Apparently it's for a fan favorite from Halo 4. I don't remember from Halo 4. But Halo 4 has been a while back. That multiplayer is very long back in my memory.
It looked a little different from this back then. Back then, yeah. Halo 4 had different graphics, and one thing I remember particularly about like the Prefect armor was it had this weird sheen to it that looked kind of funky with the graphics of the time compared to some of the other sets because it was really supposed to be all different and Forerunner based. Like it made sense for it, but it just always stood out to me. It made it hard to mix and match.
Yeah, very good. Okay. That makes sense.
But that's not the case here.
No, I actually really like it. I actually quite like the setup of it. I love the helmets. They're very nice. They're very different, but I kind of like what I'm seeing. So that's pretty good. As we mentioned at the top, brought Husky Assault. This is the assault game type with the Husky, which is random weapons thrown into the mix. That's out at the moment. There's a ranked 1v1, which is nuts. Very, very cool, but I imagine that's sweaty as fuck. To be played. I don't know if you've gone near a ranked 1v1, have you?
No, I've never been a 1v1 person. I've never been much of a free-for-all person. And this is 1v1 Showdown is also like not just straight up one-on-one Slayer. I think it's got a little goof to it.
There probably is. I wonder if it's even... Is it like SWAT? There might not be any shields. It could be something like that. There's variations on it.
There's something to it. I don't remember what it is, but there's something to it.
I did a lot of it back in the day, 1v1s, but I wouldn't go near it today. No way. So that's there, which is interesting. And I think that's being brought up in HCS as well. I saw it mentioned in the post that they were bringing it there. I think Arlington is the next one if it's on right now. I can't remember, but
Arlington is the next event, and I don't know if it's 1v1 Showdown, but they're also looking to bring in this other mode that's going to be coming up in the future.
Yes.
This seek and deploy extraction.
Interesting.
I know that's the one they're itching to bring into HCS if possible.
Yeah. That'll be the place to promote it, I guess, if you want people on it and do the mode there. So speaking of extractions, there's a big team BTB extraction and BTB assault coming soon. So BTB extraction introduces a multi-site extraction for 24 players, 2 target zones active at the same time. Your team will need to secure their sites, deploy beacons, and defend your turf long enough to score. Pretty standard stuff. Sounds interesting. And I imagine with Big Team Battle, very chaotic. BTB Assault, exactly what it sounds like. 12 players face off in a classic strategic bomber mode. So Spartans, Smithereens, that's weird. So as you imagine, same kind of game type, just larger. And probably harder. The last thing in this that caught my eye was the Promethean assault rifle, the skin. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty dope looking skin. It reminds me of a completely like a weapon from like Mass Effect or something like that. I thought it was pretty cool. I went online last night to kind of check it out and see will I try and get it. I think you have to pay for it though, don't you?
It's the premium add-on for this. Well, the thing that's stopping me is you're going to make that assault rifle look all cool and forerunnery, and then it's going to shoot regular bullets. Like, give me light rifle bullets or something.
Yeah, the fact that they don't come with, like, weapon effects is kind of a bit annoying. You think you'd put, like, just do the weapon effects, that the weapon at least functions a little bit differently, even if it doesn't, but at least it may appear to do so. I think that'd be a bit better. And I know it has like a light blade on it, but like it's obviously not going to be functional. It's not going to be like you could like melee with the weapon or anything like that, or anything.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to have a custom animation or anything for it, but like at least kind of make it whole fit in its own theme.
Yeah. So in terms of the operations, that's them. And as far as I know, if they're looking at it, they haven't announced anything else yet, so we don't know what the summer is going to look like in terms of operations.
We have something vague as far as, do we? Well, they did confirm there were going to be at least 2 operations in the quote unquote summer update, because they're still doing it as like seasonal updates. They're going to give us like 3-ish operations per season. We got 3 for spring. And yeah, we've got 2 confirmed for summer. We've got a few things that are going to be coming with them confirmed, but not a whole lot of major stuff. We don't have names for them or anything yet.
I feel like as they appear, when you put them all together and you kind of read them, it feels like it's pretty consistently decent enough content. We're getting new modes all the time. We're getting new maps, new kind of skins and stuff. Now, the pricing is a bit much to be, is not great, but you're getting stuff all the time, which is kind of good, I think. So I think the cadence of these feels good too. You're given plenty of time, like you said, Steve, to like not necessarily grind them, but actually get them out without having to pay for them, which is good.
Yeah, I can play at my own pace without having to grind. I don't have to worry about FOMO. Even with the new way that they're doing these operations, all the premium content, if you miss a pass, will go to the shop later on. All of the free content will go to the exchange later on. The exchange has still been pretty steadily updating with things that people have missed from earlier years. We're starting to get all that promotional content, like from doing the various campaigns for like the energy drinks and snacks and chips and all that stuff, where you'd cash it in and get like a few XP boosts and maybe a coating or something like that. All that stuff is coming to the exchange finally, little by little. They slip a few new pieces in there once in a while. So it's been pretty consistent as far as them adding stuff. Nothing that sets expectations too high, but nothing horrendous. It's been fairly middle of the road. I would agree with you.
Yeah. And I think they're obviously going to be supporting it. Halo's not going anywhere, so like we can expect to see the same. I say going forward of more or less the same caliber. I'm not expecting to have some crazy, amazing summer update that's going to like revolutionize the game. I imagine they're just going to keep pace with what they have.
Yeah, they did kind of explain when they did the community live stream for the spring update that we should expect the similar treatment with the summer update that we got with the spring update. So we'll have like one big pass at the beginning. At the very least, that first operation will be another 50 tier pass. The second one will be another small 21. There'll be a little bit more content coming with the first one. We're going to get at least one new weapon at some point. We'll get another new game mode, at the very least one, if not more than that.
Yeah. Very good. So, from that side, let's get down through some cannon fodder. So, there's only been 2 of note that I have seen this year. So, 161 and 162. 160, I think we covered the last episode, so we're not going to talk about that. So, 161 is called The Dawn of Lore. So, this is where they kind of told us about Kelly Gay's next novel, which is Halo Edge of Dawn. It's a Master Chief story, they've told us, and it's due to release at the very end of this year. So, obviously, excellent to see Kelly Gay just like being the only person writing books. Well, her and Troy. So, that's really cool. Very exciting. Edge of Dawn. Cool ass fucking name.
Well, we got the new guy now. We got Jeremy now.
We do. Jeremy's new guy, old guy. He's back. He's doing another book. But I actually really like that. I like to see that it's not just Troy Kelly, that someone else is doing a mainline Halo novel. Very excited about that.
Yeah. Also, you haven't read it yet, too, right? You didn't really read through it yet. So read it, and then you'll be like, okay, yeah, there is another author that's killing it in the Halo universe. I guarantee you're not going to walk away from it being upset or disappointed. You're going to be very happy with it.
Love it. I like it. So Kelly Gay's next novel, Master Chief, Edge of Dawn. Great name. Master Chief will obviously sell. That's what we want the stories to be about. Excellent. Okay. They did a re-release. So this caught me off guard because when I saw it pop up in the feed for like audiobooks and stuff like that I watch, I was like, Halo at Midnight in the Heart of Midlothian came out. I'm like, they've done that years ago as a motion comic, and it was cool then. But they just re-released it pretty fucking randomly again. I don't think they even said why. It's just there. Here it is, re-released. It's like, okay, it's a cool motion comic. Go check it out. They re-released it for whatever reason. They said this little spiel kind of caught me kind of interesting. So essentially, they're changing the cadence of cannon fodder. So instead of being every month, it's now every other month. And they've said this is because they're heads down working on the future of Halo. For continued support to Infinite, Waypoint Chronicles, upcoming books, future game products is what they've said, projects. So we're seeing multiples, and they've said this before, like future game projects. So it's kind of like, okay, we know there's a mainline game coming. Are there others? who knows?
They did confirm they have multiple projects in the works like that. Back when they did their Unreal unveiling.
That's right.
Unreal reveal, if you want to say it like that.
Yeah. So that obviously they're saying that again. We're getting no more details for now. So that's kind of it. Canon fodder's every other month, so we're kind of reduced a little bit down there, which is okay. That's fine.
I get the logic behind it because there's only so much you can write in the lore to expand upon it before it's like, all right, well, when are we going to get a game that expands upon this?
Exactly,
like, eventually you start kind of pushing up your own timelines on it, unless you keep writing about stuff in the past, but people want to know what's going on now too.
That's it. Yeah. So the next kind of fodder after that was called Tasty Tome. So this all kind of hammers on a character called Severin. So like this is a lot of empty thrown kind of stuff. So a lot of names, some of like stuff got a little kind of spoilery stuff if you hadn't read the book. So obviously it talks about a character Severin who's in the book. He is, he's like, I know he's the son of somebody important. I skimmed it really quickly because I didn't actually want to pay attention. So he's more or less kind of left in charge of the Banished after Aatrox disappears. So he has a personal flagship called the Heart of Malice. So there's a whole bunch of like pictures. It like looks really kind of cool, but a lot of kind of content and a little bit of lore around his vessel. So we haven't seen that type of vessel before. So go check it out. They did a really cool thing, which I really liked. So they had said, they had seen in the community people kind of struggling with the Waypoint Chronicles, the books, the kind of stuff they put out, the content of the game, like the dates and times of where things take place. So they put it down very nicely in chronological order with dates and times and areas of events and the sources of where these things come from. All of the events more or less that take place in 2559 and 2560, which is in and around Halo Infinite. So I really like this. This is really good. I'm very nicely laying out all these things. I don't know if you've seen it, Steve, but it was very, very good. I liked it a lot.
I have not seen it, but that's another thing. I will save these notes from today so I can look into it maybe over the course of the week or what have you.
Yeah, it's very, very, very useful. I found, especially because like even if you're trying to hold it in your head, like a date can, like a future date, like 2558, 2558, it's just a number, man. It's kind of meaningless. It's like, did it happen before or after this other thing I know about? So it's very handy for that. So I appreciated that. They actually talked about another audiobook that came out very recently, as of 2 or 3 days ago, called Halo From Soil to the Stars. This is they classified it as a slice of life type. These are, in my opinion, the weakest of the Halo Waypoint Chronicles, where they try and like put you in the place of Joe Nobody in an event in a place of just talking about crap. They're not my favorites for the ones I've read. So that's the most current Chronicles. I haven't listened to it, so I don't want to shit all over. But the way they described it sets the tone for myself of like my own expectations of what to expect going in. So
they're not the flagship of what draws people into the Halo franchise, but it's nice to get that little bit of expansion as well. I think those details are important. And, if we don't get those details, people are always going to ask those questions, those what-if questions, like just in the Hits Blunt circle. Like, what about the guy running the store that the grenade blew up next to?
Yeah. So, yeah, that's true. And then they... This comic, I really like this. So they featured in that chronicle is Orcus. So ORCUS, which is a semi-powered exoskeleton that was added to Halo Infinite with the launch of Operation Frontlines. I didn't see this, but I saw the picture of the armor and it looks dope. I was like, that is a cool looking set of armor. I went looking for it, couldn't find it last night, so I might have missed my chance. Probably did. But I don't know if you obviously picked this up, the Orcus armor. They might have a different name for it, but when I saw the image of it, I was like, that's really nice looking. That's cool looking armor.
The name isn't ringing a bell. I'll have to open it up and check at some point. I mean, I'm always on top of getting anything that's free and available. If it was in the shop, I don't know. I probably would have skimmed over it if it was in the shop, other than just eyeballing what's going on with the pricing and if they're putting something worthwhile in there. Yeah,
fair enough. So that's the kind of fodders. So the last kind of bits, the things that kind of caught my eye, and I'll stick my hand up because this episode's going to go out relatively soon. And if you're in the Discord, you're probably aware of this. Halo Empty Throne came out. It's doing really, really well. Very positively received. It came out on the 18th of February. I absolutely missed this launch. What a fucking dope. I'm literally been waiting for the one piece of fucking proper Halo content we're getting this year, and I missed it. And I was explaining to Steve beforehand, I saw that they were putting out previews. They were putting out audiobook audio recordings of, they saw chapter 1 came out, then chapter 2 came out. And my brain just went, no, I don't want to know any of this. I want to wait for the book to come out. And I must have just blanked out on everything related to that book, because I was only in Discord yesterday as of recording, and I saw people talking about the book, and I was like, how the fuck did I miss this book launch? And I was in the city where I live. I was in Cork City, and I went straight into fucking the bookshop, the Waterstones nearby, went looking for it, found the book. They only had one copy, buried in their weird kind of like, don't know why they do this, but they put all their comic books as well as like anything video game related that's like in book form all in one like shelf corner area.
They didn't just put it in with like where they would put the rest of their sci-fi or something.
No, they don't. They whoever organizes their stuff is like, this is our sci-fi section and this is everything video game related. So like it's thrown in on top of like Assassin's Creed books and comics and other kind of bits and pieces. So like you have to. What I'm trying to say is like you have to look for it, and they never have a lot of Halo stuff in there. But they do tend to get a couple of copies of the newest ones. So I was like, okay, hopefully it's there. Like obviously I'll pick it up on Amazon if I had to, but I was like, okay, I'll get the physical book. I'm in the shop, I'm getting it. Got it, picked it up, bringing it home, going to start it tonight. Felt really kind of dumb, but really kind of dumb. I was like, okay, I missed this one, and I know I haven't done the book club for Epitaph, and that is the next thing. I'm not going to say when, because I've said it too many times that I'm going to do it, but I know it needs to be done. So it's catching up on me. It launched. Steve has read it. He's got me really kind of hyped about it. All the stuff he kind of said about it. So obviously, if you're listening to this, you've probably already read the book. If you haven't, it seems like it's worth your time. I actually have no idea what it's about. I remember reading the blurb way back, and I've kind of gone radio silent on it now. I haven't looked at anything, so I'm very excited to actually delve into it.
It's basically an additional set of perspectives on things happening at the same time as Infinite.
Yeah. I knew it was like the Cortana's gone and it's kind of the fill the void kind of vibe of like what that leaves behind, which is, I imagine it answers excellent questions that we had at the beginning of Infinite. So I'm very happy about it.
I mean, the title alludes to it being Empty Throne is quite literally talking about Cortana is no longer at the seat of the throne of the galaxy.
Super. I like it. And what a great title. It's a great title. I like it. And you alluded to this before. A new mode. And I watched this video and like the video's a bit rough, but like obviously this is a mode that is very popular, which is an extraction mode. It's extraction shooters, the whole subgenre of games out there. So Halo has a take on it. And they're calling it a competitive mode. They're trying to bring it into, like you said, HCS. So it's S&D extract. So it's seek and destroy. Seek and deploy. Sorry. So it's a single life, round based. Best of 11 rounds, so the first of 6 wins the match. One team starts offense, other one defense. You alternate every round. The maps are asymmetrical with 2 extraction sites. So obviously you're running up. It's a neutral bomb kind of thing. So you run up, you grab a bomb, but the bomb doesn't preclude you from using. It's not a bomb. The thing you pick up, it doesn't stop you from using your weapons. Because they didn't want to make it uneven, which I thought was very interesting. So offense must determine which attack the site and initiate an extraction at that site. Once it begins, you must defend, obviously, to convert it over. Sounds really, really cool. They also have a competition, which is like for a $20,000 prize pool for a partnership with Forge Hub to create maps for this, which I've never seen before. Like, obviously, I say never seen before. Obviously, 343/Halo Studios now, they're crowdsourcing all of their new maps. We don't get new maps. Everything is coming from Forge. Forge put maps from the community that they really promote. So now they're actually putting money behind it this time.
I don't recall if it's actually Halo Studios putting in the money for, or if it's something that Forge Hub themselves managed to put together. It's entirely possible that Forge Hub did it, but they still partnered anyway, just because Forge Hub's a big name in the community and Infinite needs forgers. But the other thing about the game mode is it also has an economy system built into it.
Yeah, sorry, that was a bullet point. Sorry, it has an economy that you pay for things based on things you do in the game, kills, and various other ways of like getting money, or whatever they're going to call it. And you then spend these, I'm going to call them credits, they don't have their name, you spend them on weapons, loadouts. You can buy yourself back into the round, but it's going to be very expensive. so you have to like really be careful about whether or not you do it. That's pretty cool. That is I really like the idea of this. This is very interesting. The video looked good. What did you think of it, Steve?
I think it looked pretty good. Obviously, I had to sit down and watch it so I could keep up with what was going on as well. I think it's interesting the way that you're going to be buying into your loadouts in the beginning of the game, mostly just because of the icon system they use. There's not a whole lot of detail, but it was also me watching it on a stream kind of in passing. I wasn't able to zoom in and read what everything said exactly. It was an interesting user interface, but other than that, it seems fine. It seems interesting enough. We'll see what happens when it actually gets into players' hands because it's not available to us yet.
Okay. And the prize fund is 50-50. Halo put in 10 grand and Forge Hub have matched it.
Okay, sweet. So that's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that's how that is. So that's very interesting.
I do know it's already ended. Submissions have already closed for it.
Okay, that's good to know. If you're listening, well, I suppose people would know that. They wouldn't learn that no news here. But
yeah, if it was pertinent to anybody who's going to enter, they probably would have done it already. We're not missing the boat for them at this point, I'm sure.
Excellent. Okay. So there we go, guys. That is the new mode. I kind of like the look of it. Will I play it? We'll see. We'll see if it ever actually comes to me. If it's competitive, probably not. But if it's in the rotation, sure, you'll pick it up and you play it along as best you can. The book guide was updated. So remember, they put out a big ass book guide, which is like a post that they're like constantly going to update as new books come out. So you can see every book in its sequence all in one place. Very nice. So important to remember that is a resource, an official book guide by Halo Studios. So that's good to know. There was another Waypoint Chronicle put out. Sorry, the most recent one is called Tuplamancy. So set in April 2560, Officer Nail investigates a derelict cruiser belonging to ancient human ancestors. Strange effects begin to take hold of the crew. So it's a flood kind of outbreak on a ship, as you can imagine. Sounds interesting. I'll get to it when we get to it, like always. And then I left this here only because to round out, we spoke about it before, and I had thought it would come up. So Halo MCC coming to other platforms. There was a lot of talk of it coming to PlayStation. We haven't seen it, but really, I had heard loads of rumors about the Switch 2 and about Xbox being supporting on the Switch 2, which Microsoft said they were going to do. I actually thought we might have seen it by now, whether or not MCC would be on the Switch, but Xbox haven't come out. I say Xbox, yeah, Xbox Studios, Game Studios, right? They haven't come out and done.
We haven't gotten any. We haven't gotten any official commentary from people who like have a say in the matter. The last thing that I found about it was, I believe it was Tom Warren from The Verge was talking about how if it were to happen, MCC might be packaged in a way that you wouldn't get all of the games in one bundle. It might be split up across two separate bundles. That's pretty much the extent of it. Other than that, like, everything seems to be tracking with what the various leakers have been calling out. So it's still up in the air. I wouldn't rule it out, but I wouldn't say to expect it either. Yeah,
it's the same. It's the big one of the Microsoft games going to multiple platforms, and they might be a little bit hesitant, I can imagine, because there's no one going back once you do it, and that's
the big hurdle has already been jumped. We've gotten a Microsoft exclusive game on PlayStation now. We've got Forza Horizon releasing for PlayStation. So like, with that one confirmed, it kind of means who really could know what's going to happen with other Microsoft exclusives.
Absolutely. I fully expect Fable to be on other platforms. Gears E-Day, that'll be interesting to see what they do, because you'd imagine before they do Gears, they go back, bring out Ultimate Edition, bring back maybe the older games, bring back 4 and 5. I'd be intrigued to see if those come to other platforms first before you do E-Day. Well, E-Day is being a prequel to the first one. That means maybe you'll only actually do the first one. But anyway, let's see how that goes. So again, just to be aware, I imagine that if Halo MCC comes to other platforms, we're going to have crossplay, and I'd imagine cross-save. So I imagine there'd be some kind of, I think you already do it anyway, don't you? On the Switch, you sign in to like a Microsoft or Xbox account. I'm pretty sure you do.
I don't know. I don't have a Switch in the household currently. I haven't interacted with Nintendo hardware in a while.
I vaguely remember people telling me that when Minecraft came out that took over that there was a sign in involved there. So anyhow, there we go. That's Q1. So as I said, a lot of stuff happening, way more coming. We have another book. We have game updates.
Game content, yeah.
Game content's coming. There is a June showcase that is happening in, I think it's the 8th of June, I want to feel, from Microsoft. So we could get something there. Who knows? I think I'd be shocked to see anything from Halo, so I wouldn't even...
I'm not expecting it, but there's... Yeah, the old school fanboy in us still wants to hope.
A new game, yeah. When I see Halo there, I'm talking about a new game, not an update, not like Halo Infinite content. I'm thinking about like either the campaign DLC that doesn't exist and probably never will for Infinite, or a new game, one of these game projects. What's that going to look like? I honestly don't expect to see it, and I don't think we'll get anything this year. I'm just not feeling it this year, to be honest. I don't think Halo's year is this year. But
no, we're in a year where things are still percolating in the oven.
Yeah, especially with that launch, with the rebrand, and okay, we're going to Unreal. That feels like just super early days to me. So unless they've been working on something else in the background that's of an older kind of build, maybe we'll see something. But no, I'm not feeling it. So that's kind of it, Steve. Thank you very much for this. This has been great. I really, really appreciate you coming in. Do you want to bump anything? I know you're talking about the channel stuff that you do, and you also said you stream. Do you want to promote anything for the streaming wise? Do you want to, like, what channels should we be looking at? Is it your personal one? Do you do it on the...
I stream on my personal channel under the name I go by everywhere, which is Fox2Quick. On Chatternet, I do Oni Data Drop, but there are, of the 14 shows there, at least 11, 12 of them are about Halo, with one or two just other general gaming-related things, community-related things. So there's a little something for everybody over there. You can check out that and all the other related stuff on jumperscape.com. And that's pretty much about it. Everything else happens like via Discord, so you guys can find me in the Evolve Discord plenty, and I'm in the Jumperscape Discord, and that's just where we're always cooking stuff up at. That's where the streaming guys share their assets and their little animations and their silly soundboard widgets that we want to use with each other when we're making jokes and all that other good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Steve. So in closing, guys, I'll tell you what I've been doing. So that's the Q1. I have an idea for the next episodes that I want to do. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it, but it will be May. Will be probably the next episode you'll get from Podcast Evolved. Well, obviously the Halo headlines are still going up stuff. The book club, so the most recent one is Whispers from the Pyre. So that should go live for everybody else tomorrow. The patrons would already have it. So that's one of the most recent audiobooks that we've done. We've another 2 in the bank now, maybe even 3, because they've pumped out a bit more than I was expecting. So those will come. Promise you, Halo Epitaph is coming too. I might even reach out to the community and get 1 or 2 people involved with that as well. So with all of that, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Like I mentioned top of the show, you can find all of our episodes on the website haloevolve.com. .co actually, I think is what it is. It's haloevolve.co. So you can see all of our shows on their unique feeds over there. If you want to learn anything more, contact us all through the website. You can do that. You can leave us a review. Like I said, we also have a voicemail. We haven't got anything on it in some time, but it's there. We listen. We're waiting on the end of the line. It's 205 Evolved. That's 205-386-3833. And with that today, I've been your host, David. And until next time, Evolved.
Evolved.